Huh? Yeah, I know. I know I might touch a bit of a nerve with this talk. Yeah, you guys want to get some breakfast? Let's get out of here. Let's get some lunch.
I hope there's questions.
Yeah, hit me up with some questions after. Josh, I heard this once and I was so excited he wanted to listen to it twice.
I didn't want you to tell him that. I wanted to answer your question. I wasn't going to miss one.
What? Couldn't hear, your mouth was full.
It's a long way out.
All right, so to get on topic, everybody, the topic of discussion today is energy drinks. It's been a little while since we did this. I actually realized it's been almost a month since I last did one of these whiteboard talks. Shame on me, but I've been thinking of topics, right? So we kind of gone through a handful of topics, and the way I come up with these conversations or come up with these talks is I basically just watch you and then figure out what I think is most valuable. Popular thing these days is energy drinks, and it started with Red Bull, but it's gone to like basically every single company has an energy drink these days. But the way I want you to think of this, an energy drink is anything that's marketed to you or formulated with the intention of increasing energy, focus, concentration, performance, endurance, stamina, basically everything you see in any one of the commercials or any of the bottles, right? If an energy drink has an ingredient they think is going to help you, they're going to slap it on the label so you see it front and center, because that's what they use as the hook to get you to try it. Now, if you look at one of those labels, it says increased performance, concentration, energy. I want you to know that the ingredients they have in the product are based on science and do show those benefits. The problem is they are under no obligation to put enough of that junk in it for it to have the benefit. The supplement industry is not regulated that way. Essentially, it's one of those things where you're innocent until proven guilty. Until someone comes and questions your supplement or tests it and says, hey, you say it's got this, but it's actually got Y, and that's actually not the case, there's no under obligation for you to prove that. Does everybody remember the drug Hydroxycut? You guys remember that? It was on TV all the fucking time. It's not as popular anymore, and Josh, don't say this why, because I know you know why. Does anyone know why that's not marketed as much anymore? Anybody know? Oh, it was super effective, but when it started, but do you know why? It was banned, right? It was banned. Anybody know why it was banned? It had speed in it. It was amphetamines in it. It worked really fucking well, but the walls were crawling with spiders and they weren't there, right? You had no fucking desire to eat because you were dripping on speed. Now, in the supplement world, if you have something in there like caffeine, for example, there's caffeine in the product. You can say that your product gives you all the benefits caffeine has, regardless if there's a specific dose of caffeine you need to get that intended benefit. That's how supplement companies, a lot of them work. Not all of them, but a lot of them. There are good ones and there are bad ones, just like there are good restaurants and bad restaurants. But if you have a certain ingredient in it, and that ingredient in the lab has been shown to do something, you can say that that product you have created now does that for people. So like research shows, energy drinks based on their ingredients can do things like increase performance, cognition, increase CNS stimulation, which is like get you amped up, ready to go, like you would need to feel before ripping off deadlifts. Improve your reaction time, increase blood flow, increase your focus, help your memory, and the one that I thought was like almost comical, anti-inflammatory. And the reason I find that comical is because they're full of sugars and shit are not anti-inflammatory. But maybe there's something else in them. So what is actually in them? What is the things that people are going after when they're getting energy drinks? It's typically 3 ingredients that are of interest. Caffeine, B vitamins, and then the amino acids. So you have things like taurine, guarine, and all those other enes that you hear in the labels. It's like what Red Bull sold you on, like taurine, and people were like, is it like some sort of magical ground up bull in this thing? Which is what people thought at first with Red Bull, like there was actually like bull in Red Bull. No. But they have these ingredients in them. The 2 that are of most interest for us today, talking about energy drinks and whether or not there are better alternatives, are the 2 things that people are after when they take energy drinks. Caffeine and B vitamins. Those are what give you the effects, the stimulation, the alertness, the things that you're like, I'm craving that and I want to have it again so I feel this good. Well, those 2 ingredients, when overconsumed or consumed in a less than advantageous package, come with a host of potential downstream effects that are not the I feel good and I'm ready to go deadlift, 225, 60 times super fast. Things like risk-seeking behavior. Now, the research is both on adults and adolescents. They typically look at risk-seeking behavior more so in adolescents, like will this person become a drug dealer or drug user? But typically when someone has the perchance to like a altered state of consciousness, like the way we feel when we have caffeine and we feel alive, you search that feeling in other avenues, which means you're more likely to take on other risky behaviors like drinking and gambling and things like that because they give you a rush. So risk-seeking behavior has been associated with energy drinks. Mental health issues, anxiety, stress, depression, and suicidal ideation. These are all side effects of overconsumption of caffeine. If you look in animal research and you give an animal enough caffeine, they start to tear themselves down. The same thing will happen in a human being. And I don't know if you guys noticed about this, but caffeine, eventually you need more of it to feel something. It's like any other drug. Eventually you get used to it. So where you start with one energy drink, then how many do you have, CJ? 2, then how many?
That's it.
That 2 is good for you. Good.
You count 2 like this.
Yeah, 2. So you got mental health issues. You got some cardiovascular situations. You got increase in blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, heart dysrhythmias, which means your heart's not pumping the way it's supposed to, palpitations, it's fluttering, so it feels like your heart rate's at 300 and you're sitting at your desk going, what's happening to me? There's some metabolic effects. We all know that sugar-sweetened beverages do very certain things inside of our body, like increase our body's response with insulin. All of a sudden, we have some insulin resistance, and we decrease our sensitivity, and all of a sudden, we start putting on excess weight. And you're like, the only thing I added to my diet were these energy drinks. It's supposed to give me energy. Why am I getting fluffier? It's the metabolic effects of the drink. Dental effects. They got sugar in them. They're going to rot your teeth. I'm sorry. I wish that wasn't true. I wish that was a fake story, but sugar does rot your teeth. Renal effects. We know that increases in sugar-sweetened beverages cause kidney distress, which can cause long-term chronic kidney damage. And we also know that caffeine can increase sodium loss. So all of a sudden we're having lower blood sodium, which means we're more at risk for things like hypertension because there's less volume of blood in our body. And then we have neurological effects. Your sleep gets messed up. You have headaches, irritable. I think everybody here knows what it's like to be drinking coffee every single morning and then have to wait like an extra hour for your cup. Start to get a little cranky, a little twitchy, a little grumpy. And then what's crazy, and I didn't know this until I started reading this stuff, you can get things like seizures and hallucinations. And I read this and I was like, that seems like a pretty extreme example. And then I had Sari in class. She works with someone whose son had seizures because of energy drinks and is no longer able to work or drive. And he is 22 years old. He's forever changed because of his again, we're assuming nothing else in his life led to this, but this situation where over-consuming energy drinks, he had to be put into a medically induced coma and they thought he was going to die. Now, I'm not going to scare anybody. I don't think that everybody who drinks energy drinks is going to die, but I want you to realize that these energy drinks come with a very potent punch. Does anybody know how much caffeine's in a cup of coffee, roughly? Yeah, 150, 200 is pretty much the standard. Energy drinks range from 50 milligrams per 8 ounces, and just for our essay, if anyone hasn't seen one recently, they come in like what look like PBR pounder cans, so 16 ounces. So we want to assume like on the low end, we get like 100 milligrams of caffeine. And then some of the most potent ones have 200 milligrams per 2 ounces. Anybody want to do the math real quick? What's 200 times 8? 1,600 milligrams, 1.6 grams of caffeine. Now let's say you're cranking 2 or 3 of these a day. We'll call that conservatively 5 grams. How many coffee cups do you have to drink to get there? Anyone know?
25.
Yeah, 25 fucking cups of coffee. Anybody in here drink 25 cups of coffee in the morning? Get the fuck out of here. You better have stock in coffee then. All right, so I never want to present a problem without hopefully giving you some sort of solution. Everything that you can get in that colorful, delicious tasting Swedish fish shaped can, whatever flavor you have, Sour Patch Kid, Swedish fish, what are the good ones, CJ? Tell me. What's a good one? Tropical mango. Bombsicle.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. Everything that you can get in one of those drinks, you can get from your diet, plus coffee. Yeah, exactly. Boring. So coffee. I don't mean Starbucks Frappuccino milkshake. I mean coffee. It's black, not light gray, tan. It's black. Black. You can put cream in it. Keep the sugar out of it. The second thing you can get are B vitamins. I think most of you know the B vitamins, but in case you don't, there are 5 of them that are typically contained within energy drinks. B1, 2, 3, 6, and 12. All of those B vitamins can be absorbed through your diet. A diet that includes meat, fish, shellfish, eggs, dairy, green vegetables, nuts, and seeds gets you the complement of B vitamins you'd be seeking for in that Bombsicle C4, but in a package that's much better for you, because what does a steak have that a C4 doesn't? Protein, but like a dozen other vitamins and minerals that are definitely not included in the formulation of Bombsicle C4. Right? So what I'm saying here is you can get all of those benefits from eating real food and drinking nature's energy drink, coffee. What questions do you guys have? So how many times a week can I have them? Again, I don't want you guys to hear me say you can't have energy drinks. That's not what I'm getting at here. I just want you to know what you are putting in your body and what might happen if you rely on those versus doing this natural route. Yes, Julia?
I was just going to say, if you need to, it's more like in moderation. Look for the one that's 200
Of course.
versus 60.
Yeah. And again, I think honestly, even if you're a heavy user of coffee, you could probably even get away with one of these super duper daddies over here. One of them, occasionally. But not 2 of them a day, 7 days a week. You have to realize that, like, there are things in those drinks that they don't know what's going to happen to you long term yet. Hydroxycut got the green light because people lost weight. They didn't give a fuck that they were giving you speed. They cared about the results. What do you look like if you use this? You are fat, you are less fat. Green light, without any regard for the fact that you might literally fucking die taking it. And I'm not saying that's going to happen from taking C4 at the grocery store, but just realize the people making those fucking drinks don't give a fuck about your health. They don't fucking care. None of them, I would even I'd even venture to say that none of them started with like, I'm going to make the world's best energy drink that's good for everybody. They're like, how the fuck can we make some motherfucking money? That's what it's about. These people over here, this natural route, coffee's cheap. Food, relatively inexpensive, easy to access. A little bit more work. You gotta learn how to cook it, you gotta learn how to eat it. But this is the way forward. You want energy, you want alertness, you want caffeine? Live over here and not over there. Yes, Julia?
What about like emergency that I take if I feel like a cold's coming on?
So let's have a high dose of vitamin C.
Yeah, but it also has like the B vitamins.
Yeah, there's some decent amount of energy that's tied to like.
Is that okay because it's a little less sugary than all the others?
I'd have to double check the ingredients on vitamin C, but I don't think there's very much caffeine in vitamin C. And I'm gonna guess the B vitamins are at a negligible level to the point where, like, again, I don't think what you're getting in a can of C4 or any of those energy drinks is anywhere near what you need for the quantity of B vitamins to be healthy. But know that that's one of the selling points. The reason they can say it decreases reaction time is because they have included some sort of fortified B vitamin in there, and B vitamin has been shown to decrease reaction time. Whether or not there's enough of it in there to actually do anything, different story. Daniel.
How do you rate those fit aids on your spectrum of energy?
Oh, that's a great question. People are like, all right, so what the fuck face is fit aid over there? What's the deal?
There's a range, because some of them are like too...
Some of them have caffeine and some of them don't. I mean, I'm of the opinion that, like, if you come and work out and the worst thing you put in your body is a fit aid after class, I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't love it. I don't love it. My advice would be like, let's eat some food and drink some water. But there are way worse things. So I think, again, just like the energy drinks, you have one on occasion. You have one maybe just after your workout. You don't come in here midday, crack open 3 of them, slug them down, and come back 3 hours later and crack 3 more. We're cool. So to answer your question, Jay, I would say, like, lesser of evils. I mean, I've been toying a lot for the idea. You guys are gonna hate this. It's not gonna be a popular opinion of getting rid of them totally and just put water in the fridge. But I know there might be a revolt here if I do that. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Say that client that had the patient that changed his life, could you say he drank a day?
He was drinking like 5 or 6 of a day. Yeah, 5 or 6 a day. That's like 10 grams of caffeine every day. That's a shitload. Any other questions? Yes, CJ. So pre-workout would fall in a similar category. I would just look for one, again, that doesn't come with a bunch of sweeteners in it. It doesn't taste really sweet. Like, if you wanted to get the benefits of a pre-workout, you'd get one that has like just caffeine, beta-alanine, and that's it. Like, anyway, for anyone that doesn't know, the reason that company Proper that used to exist, that no longer does exist, existed because we used to buy all of the supplements in isolation from a company called Bulk Supplements, and we used to make it ourselves. So you'd look at like, it turns out we need leucine, creatine, dextrose, maltodextrin, protein, I don't know what the fuck else was in it, some other things, salt. All of those things put together, we're gonna like be like a little chemist and make Proper. That's how Proper came to be. So you can, in theory, do that. I think pre-workout falls similar, but like most people don't take pre-workout to go to work on Monday, right? But some people wake up and grab 2 cans of C4 and go to work, right? So a little bit different application. I would argue that most people doing C4 are probably doing a lot less of that, or of the pre-workout, are consuming far less of it than they would be the stuff you can buy at, Patman's and crank 2 of them before work. So a little better, but still be conscious of it. Anything else? Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you learned something. Hope that was fun. I had fun.